Well, radio, stay tuned because you're about to find out what happened directly after this crazy failsafe. G'day, Stu from UAVfutures here, and today, well, what we're checking out is this little beauty right here, and what it is, it's the Foxeer Box 2, and GoPro might be absolutely pooping themselves because what you have here is a real contender when it comes to HD footage, slapping it on your drone. This thing is doing like 4K, 30 frames per second, and for the longest time we've been using GoPro, so I've got my Session. They don't even make those anymore, and GoPro seems to be really, really expensive, which kind of sucks, but they're kind of the gold standard we've been using for a long time. So I'm really excited. What we're going to do, we're going to quickly stick this on the bench. I'm going to show you some of the specs that it comes with because it's boasting some pretty impressive features, especially for its price. And then the fun stuff, I'm going to just stick it on my drone here. We've got an ultralight build here that we're going to be strapping the Foxeer Box 2. We'll take it out, rip it around. A link for that build should be up there or down below somewhere in the description anyway if you want to build that at home. And we're going to just let you make up your mind and find out, is this the GoPro killer? How does it actually perform? Are you better off spending like the 400 or whatever it is, 500 bucks, you know, if you're going to get a GoPro? Or are you quite happy with the 110 or whatever it is for the Foxeer Box 2? Because I know if you can afford GoPros and you absolutely love the quality of them, and I know this is going to be a decisive video, go for it. But I understand out there too, a lot of people don't. They've got a finite amount of money. They want to stretch it as far as they can. So let's find out how this little Box 2 actually compares. So let's stick it on the bench, quickly break it down, have a look at the app, and then go out and fly it around. Now, first things first, I'm going to stick it on the scales for you. Now look, this is made from Foxeer, and let's stick it on the scale. So I've got my GoPro Session here that's coming in at about 78 grams. The Box 2 is a little bit bigger, so I'm going to guess about, okay, so it's about 8 grams heavier. It's coming in at about 80 grams, so the weight difference really isn't too noticeable whatsoever. I don't think you're really going to notice it on your drones. You are going to notice the size, however, so I find the size is a little bit, well, you're going to have to get all new mounts, which if you've already got a GoPro and you're using it and enjoying it, that is something, it's going to be a pain if you're going to switch over and use the Box 2. But if you're brand new to the hobby, you don't own a GoPro or anything, well, this one is definitely significantly cheaper. I've got a little ND filter, I'll link these down below, but it's nice they come directly out of Foxeer. That just screws onto the front. Now what I do want to do, let's open up the app, have a look at it. There we go, look, bear with me. Rightio, so I'm using my wife's phone because it kept crashing on my phone. The app, it still is in a beta stage, so hopefully, I'm sure they'll get that fixed, but it does work on my wife's phone. I haven't updated my phone in the longest time, so I don't know if that's got anything to do with it, but let's connect, have a look at some of the features. I'll put a little page on the screen too of the text and the specs, so, you know, if you're really interested. This is going to be weird. It's picking up my audio here, doing it here. Good, okay, that shut it off when I went into the menu because that was going to drive me nuts. But you can see we've got a couple of different resolutions, 4K at 30 frames per second. We've got something called Supervision, which I'm going to assume is very close to GoPro's alternative, which I'm sure you all heard the name of. Then we're going to go down, we've got you can pretty much see all the resolutions here. So you've got quite a lot, a 1080 at 120 frames per second if you need to, all the way up to 4K at 30 frames per second. So there's a fair bit on here. Now one thing I really do want to recommend is this part. Of course, you can adjust a whole bunch of stuff on here, which to be honest, most of the time, that's not really what I'm into. I'm not going to be doing that whatsoever. But this part here, quick capture, make sure you turn that on because I found this very annoying, I guess, on first setup to try and, why can't I just press a button and it works? That's what I like about the GoPro. You can just press a button and it starts working. It wasn't quite as easy when it came to this because you had to turn it on, press some different buttons, hold some things in. I didn't really like that. When it's in the side of my drone, all I want to be able to do is press a button. So make sure you've got quick capture on, and then the confusing part here, you don't turn it on by pressing the big record button. So if it's in quick capture, you don't just press this button at the front. No, good sirs and lasses, that would be too simple. You actually have to press the little power button and then it should start recording. Of course, of course, it's not going to start recording for me because I don't have a little SD card in there. You've got this little part on the top. You've got your two microphones, and you can be the judge of the audio, which will roll in a minute. You put your SD card in here. It can take up to 128 gigs, I believe, on the SD card. You've got a micro HDMI port and also a little USB-C, so it's really easy to charge. You stick it on there, you're ready to rock and roll. But So that's it on the bench. Very, very simple stuff. I like the design. It's super simple, but I do wish they just changed the power button. So I mean the big recording button, I wish we could just start by pressing that and it goes. That's the one change I would like, Foxeer, if we can set that up. But what we should do now, let's strap it on this little drone that I'll link down below too if you want to build this, because this thing is an absolute ripper. Take it out to the field. I'll do a little bit of commentary, but I want you to be your, make up your own mind. What do you think about the footage? Do you think it's worth it for around the $120 mark? Or do you prefer to spend the $400 or $500 on whatever it is for the GoPro? Because cameras, look, some people really love them, some people, can't tell the difference, some people are completely camera centric, and a whole bunch of things. So there's going to be a big range out there, but I want to know, what do you guys think? Let's have that discussion in the comments, but let's do it. Jump out of the field, fly around, and have some fun in 3, 2, 1. Rightio, let's do it out here in the field with the Box 2 at this little bit of an oasis. It's super windy here. I have no idea how this audio is going to come through, so we're filming it all on the Box 2. Usually I jump between cameras. Let's do it, show some flight footage and find out, is this finally a good cheap camera that we want? We've got it in 4K. How does it actually perform? All right, let's do it.
Okie dokie, on the sticks, on the cam, and remember this is set in 4K, and first things first, I really want to stress, I want to know what you think with your comments, and what do you think about this footage, because this is just my opinion. I'm just one person talking about my opinion with cameras, and they can definitely divide the community. Some people think it's fantastic value, other people will be GoPro diehard fans, so overall, these are just my findings. I want to go out and fly. I want a simple camera I can stick to the top of the drone. It's going to record fine, and it's also not going to break the bank, and that's what I like with this one. Now, I do think the colors are a little bit flat. I was getting some strange audio lag, or it felt like the audio was a little bit behind, so I'm not too sure what's going on there, and could that just be because it's playing back on my computer that is introducing that? I'm not 100% sure, but overall, I think that value for money, this is definitely something that people should consider. It's not as good as GoPro, and I'm sorry to say that. I do think GoPro is better, but GoPro is significantly more expensive. And if you've got a ton of GoPros at home, I think it's going to be a pain, because you're going to need to get new mounts for them. But if you're just sort of out there, you're trying to do things on a budget, or you don't want to spend heaps of cash and you don't have an action camera, so if you think about picking one of these up. Remember, these are just my opinions. I'd love to know, what do you think about this camera? And I'm definitely excited to see where we actually go in the future with all this. Now, in a moment, I think right here, what we're going to see is flying around, and of course, the flying in this video is nothing spectacular whatsoever. Definitely not what I wasn't trying to show off any fancy flying. I just wanted to see what the camera's like. There's some fast moving forward flight. What's it like on the bottom of the screen? And YouTube is going to compress this as well, but check this out. In a second, I had a bit of a scary experience with this camera strapped to the top. We're flying around. Oh dear, it's failed safe. And the video was coming back, so I seem to get a lot of fail safes in this spot, so I'm not sure what's going on. I went over, I was worried I had broken the camera or lost the drone, and yeah, I was a little bit worried for a tad anyway. Now, after a little bit of frantic searching, I actually managed to run over and get some signal, and I decided to take off, and I was like, oh no, wait, what happens if the camera has come off the top of the drone? Then I'm never going to find where that is, so I decided to go land my drone back over there so I could run over and find it, just in case the Box 2 had popped off the top, because it was only held on there by a Velcro strap. But lo and behold, it was on there, and it was all happy days. We could come back and show you the rest of this video.
Yeah, so there it is. There's my review of the Foxeer Box 2, and overall, for the price, I think it is absolutely a serious contender for some people out there. They want a good recording camera. It's not perfect. I find the buttons a little bit intuitive. The colors are a little bit flat, and sometimes the audio can go a bit wacky, so I'm not too sure what it'll look like in the compression, I guess, once it's actually up on YouTube, because YouTube messes a whole bunch of things around as well. But I don't know, what do you guys think of the footage? That's the important part, and a big one for me, if I had to go out and buy like a Hero 7 tomorrow, or buy this, and I didn't have all the funds in the world, and I was just someone who went out to the park, flew around with their friends, and really had to try and make my dollars stretch, I'd probably be going for this. But if you're one of those people out there who is absolutely into cinematography, you have all the gear and you've got to really be kitted up, and that's what you spend all your money on, absolutely, I think the GoPro does perform much better. But for the everyday park flyer, this is definitely a pretty solid choice. But what do you guys think? Drop your comments down below. Subscribe for more FPV related content. I'll put the link down below. I don't know for this if I've got a promo code or something, so definitely check the description. I'll see if I can find something for you guys. I'll put the ND filters in the link down below as well. Subscribe for more FPV related content, and as always, happy flying.